All right, so don't forget for the next lesson, okay?
Mm,
It was
okay.
about musicians and dancers on page number 70. So today we're gonna work on the speaking part. On your student's book, I want you to open up your book on page number 2072, please.
72 speaking part. Okay,
Yes,
I
this
got
is the
it.
collaborative task.
Okay.
We have practiced previously this one, right? This part. This is the speaking part 3, the collaborative task. Or not yet. As far as I remember, yes, right?
Yes, I am in the page 72. Yes, I found it.
There you are. So I was telling you if we have practiced yet this one, this part, this speaking part.
No,
I
oh
mean
no.
this part 3. Yes, right? Yes, you were practicing as far as I remember. Not specifically this one, but I mean the same kind of task, the part 3. It was a different one, of course, but it was the same.
Mm,
Do you remember what you have to do here?
no, teacher. In this word map, no.
All right. I guess that you don't remember now, but we have practiced this. Okay, this is called the part 3 of the speaking section. And in here you have the question that you have in the middle, and you have to discuss about the 5 options that you have there with your speaking partner in your real exam, of course. And you're gonna have you both 2 minutes to discuss about these ones. All right, based on the main question that you have there. For example, it says, why is it important for the people in these situations to follow the rules? And we have pupils at work, at school, drivers on roads, children at home, competitors in sport, employees at work. Right? So with your partner, you are going to discuss about all of them, or at least most of them, in 2 full minutes. And then the examiner is going to stop you, all right? And then he's going to ask you a question so that you can reach to an agreement on what is the best option, one of the 5 options that you have there, all right? So in this case, as there are no more students here, we're going to perform this way, both, okay? So my dear Sarah, why is it important for the people in these situations to follow rules?
For example, pupils at the school.
Yes. Why?
Okay, I consider pupils at the school um, have some rules because they have to maintain or keep the discipline, and this is a real way to understand the lessons, understand the teacher's explanations, understand everything. Because if they don't have to follow rules, it will be chaos. It
Yes.
could be bad situations, and therefore pupils don't learn anything. For example, the rules that they have to follow: don't eat in the class, don't talk in the class during the teacher explain the lesson, don't copy the homeworks, don't be angry in the school, don't take the others classmates the things, something like that, teacher.
Yes. Establishing rules within the classroom it's essential to create a suitable environment within it. All right. What about children at home? I think it's really important
Children.
because
Mhm.
family it's like they plays the major role in the society. That is why you have to establish rules, of course, at home.
Yes, I consider that children at home is necessary the discipline because this is the fountain of everything. They have discipline at home. They have discipline at school. They have rules in the home. They have rules at school. And this is, for example, the way how teachers and parents can be not strict, but they can have patience, but not tolerance with anything that the children or teenagers have. For example, one thing is have patience, but not that tolerance, because children have an
Some
speed.
behaviors that are not proper, right? Some behaviors that
Yes,
are not proper.
on the page. Yes.
That is.
Mm-hmm.
An important part, another important part is drivers on roads because it can be really dangerous, immortal as well, in this kind of cases. What do you think about this?
This is a real situation because if they don't have rules, we can have a lot of accidents, a lot of uh, people died on the roads, and
Yeah.
this is a very chaotic situation if the people don't follow the rules. For example, the traffic lights, they can have to know when they have to stop of they can follow, for example, or some in another things they can know the road where they can transit um, very well.
All right. What about the work? At the work, from my overview, I suppose, and I'm sure that it is crucial and essential and necessary as well that employees obey the rules so they can perform as better as they can. What do you think about this?
Yes, as employed, we have some rules to follow. For example, get in the job at a time. We have to respect the schedules, the people, the relationships between employers and children. In my case, and the other people have to respect many things. For example, the time to go to the lunch, the time to get in the factory, the time when they have to leave to home. There are exactly time that they can expect to and respect to.
Yes, that is. The last one is competitors in sports. I guess that this is the least important because it is not necessary to follow rules. I mean, it is necessary, of course, because you have to play fair, but I don't feel like it is like very terrible if you don't follow rules. Because in our current society, some sportmen can used to not to follow the rules in some cases.
Do do you consider so?
I guess because, for example, as far as I know, in some sports, some athletes or sportsmen can used to like you know consume drugs or so want to improve the performance.
Mm, but I see that some athletes that they can have many strict with themselves because if they don't have discipline, they don't go to they don't go to anywhere. For example, I know that the competitors have have honesty with themselves
Yeah, of
because
course.
if
Yes,
they
of
don't
course, it
have
is necessary to have honest
oh,
with themselves. But what I mean is that they don't used to follow rules in some cases.
in some cases that's true that's but these are the extreme people who doesn't follow rules and who follow rules. I can think that they are the the successful people in sports in this case, but who can't follow rules, they can have failures in their lives. I I say.
Of course, and as well, I could say that as well you can suffer from injuries as well if you don't follow rules. It can be a little bit
Yes, of
dangerous.
course.
Yes. So now we have 1 minute to reach to an agreement on what situation is the hardest to make sure that people really follow the rules. What do you think is the hardest situation to make sure that people follow the rules?
A harder situation, for example, in a jail, it's possible. They can have just only follow rules every time, not free time, or if they have free time, just only have to see, or it's possible that they don't read about the rules, for example. What do you
According
think?
according to me, I guess that it is a little bit difficult to make sure that drivers on roads follow the rules because I think that there is not enough people or time to make sure that these kind of drivers make sure to do things properly, to drive properly without being drunk, alcohol, and things like that.
That's true.
Because,
That's
for
true.
example, at home you can control your children. At school, as well as a fair extent, you can control your students. Employees at work, of course, yes. In competitors in sport, it's kinda easy, but drivers on roads, it's like kinda impossible to control this.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, that is. Okay, so remember, this is the speaking part three, the collaborative task. You have 2 minutes with your partner that is going to take you with your exam, and then you have 1 minute to reach to an agreement. Okay, so that is how it works. Now let's go over the reading part. This is called the multiple matching, in which you have 10 sentences or 10 statements, and you have to decide in which one, in which paragraph, has been mentioned every single statement. Okay, so you have to read this reading that is called Have Schools Become Too Lenient? And you have 4 paragraphs, and you have to decide in which paragraph A, B, C, or D is mentioned every single statement or sentence. Okay, so take a look at this reading. Do you think that 10 minutes is enough to read for you to read,
Of
or do you
course.
need or do you need more time?
Mm, about reading the page number 73.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, teacher.
How
10
much?
minutes. I
Okay, 10 minutes is okay, right? So please go ahead, 10 minutes, and then we compare the answers, okay?
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
there you are. If you have any question, I'm gonna be here listening to you.
la Merced. Vive el centro. Ah, y recuerda, este domingo te esperamos a las 5 de la tarde en el Teatro Gran Colombia para rendir homenaje a la más grande del Ecuador.
No olvides visitar el centro histórico.
Let me know, please, when you are ready, okay? Or maybe did you
Okay.
finish?
Yes, but
Are you
I
checking?
have to check
All
you.
right.
Yes.
So I'm gonna show you the right answers, okay? Number one, it was letter C. Number
Yes, of
two,
course.
A. Number three, D. Number four, B. Number five, C. Number six, B. Number seven, A. Number eight, D. Number nine, letter C. And number 10, letter B. All right? So we have 10 sentences. And tell me, how many right answers did you get out of 10?
Five sentences.
Five?
Yes.
All right. You have to keep on working on this, on your reading skills. Okay? And as you know, in the reading we mentioned something about this. Which of the school rules mentioned in the reading or in the text do you find the most surprising for you?
Which page is it, teacher?
Sorry? We are on page number 72, the speaking part that is above. About the reading that you have read right now. There were mentioned
Somebody is
some school
calling
rules.
me.
Sorry?
Excuse me, please. Could you
Okay,
please
okay.
repeat? Calling me at the phone
Okay,
in
okay,
a
don't
call.
worry. Don't worry. Take your time.
Okay. Now, please, teacher, explain me.
Okay,
What do I have to do?
we're gonna practice a little bit of speaking as well. Which of the school rules that were mentioned in the text in the reading do you find the most surprising?
Okay.
Because in the reading were mentioned some rules.
About the reading.
Yes, the reading that you have read few minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Which of the school rules, right, mentioned in the text do you find the most surprising according to you?
Surprise, the letter C, for example,
Why?
because Lucy says about that she had still furious
Yes.
when she made when they made her had taken a stud out and sent her home for the day. They humiliate her in front of the classmates.
Yes, that is all right. The next one. Do you think that pupils should be involved in deciding what the school rules are?
I consider not.
All right, because they are not
Yes.
aware of what about establishing rules. And the last one. Should parents be asked to sign a school rules document?
This is a really difficult to answer because I don't know what happened with the parents. Some parents are very worried for children, but others not. And
Yeah.
the others have a position like a helicopter parents when
Yes.
they can see everything, watching every step that the children have.
All right. So it's a 50-50, right? That is the problem. Yes. So let's keep going and let's move on to the next part that is modal verbs of obligation, necessity, and permission. And for this, I'm going to explain you a little bit of grammar. And of course, as always, if you don't understand or if you don't get something, please let me know. Okay, let's start with the modal verb must. Right? Must is used, as you probably know, for strong obligations imposed by the speaker. I mean the internal obligation. So the speaker uses must to express his or her authority. For example,
Which,
you
which,
must.
in which page do we have here, please?
All right, let me see, where is the page? Okay, this is my teacher's book, my teacher guide, but you are going to find the same explanation on page number 214. 214.
Let me see,
Yes,
because
214.
it's important for us.
Yes,
215. Okay, obligation,
yes,
necessity, and permission.
yes, modal
Yes,
verbs.
continue.
Yes, okay. So must is used, as you can see here, like this. You must be here by 8 a.m. It means that it was said by the manager to the employee, okay, to express authority. The next one is that we have to use must to give a strong advice. For example, it is a great film, you really must go and see it. It means that you really have to go and see. The next one is to tell oneself what is necessary. For example, I must remember to phone Roger. That you tell something to yourself. The next one, in signing notices indicators, rules and laws. For example, competition entries must be submitted by email. It is a rule. It is a requirement. Number two, must or mustn't, I mean the negative form, is used for the following aspects. To talk about something that is not permitted. For example, passengers must not smoke on the aircraft. It means that you are not allowed to do that. Letter B, to give strong advice as well. You mustn't work too hard. You will make yourself ill. So far, it is not difficult. Then we have must, does not have, a past or future form. For example, have to, it's used instead. For example, we had to write a formal email in the exam. Or I don't have any money. I will have to pay you tomorrow. This is the past form. Number four, must is possible in questions. For example, have to is more common in this case. Must you wear that terrible or that horrible dress? Or what do we have to do for homework? You see? It is not a common to use. Or we can mix this kind of modal verbs. Number five, have to can also be used to express obligation, particularly when this is imposed by someone else or by external circumstances, like an external obligation. For example, I have to be at work by 8 o'clock. The boss will get angry if I am late. I mean, the employee to a friend. Or we have to pull down the window blinds in summer, otherwise it gets too hot in the flat. Then we have don't have to expresses a lack of obligation. For example, I'm glad I don't have to wear a suit because it is too hot today. Then we have the modal verb need as well. Need to, which is used to express necessity. Like in this example. Can we go to the baker's? Need to get some bread, right? Or don't need to, sorry, in here, or needn't express a lack of necessity as well. For example, we don't need or we needn't leave yet. It is only 2 o'clock. Then we have that some speakers prefer to use needn't when giving permission not to do something to another person, right? For example, you needn't eat the potatoes, but you must eat the meat, all right? So you are allowing the other person not to do something. Then we have, however, don't need, right? And don't have to are also possible here to talk about general necessity and not just one occasion. For example, not don't need to is preferred in this case. You don't need to have a degree to get a decent job, right? Then we have the last one. No, the next one, sorry. A lack of necessity can also be expressed using the structure there is or there was no need for someone plus the infinitive with to. For example, there is no need for you to come shopping with me. I can do it on my own. This is the structure of this. Let's keep moving on to the next part. There is needn't have plus the past participle is used to talk about an action which was unnecessary but was performed, but was done. Alright? I needn't have prepared so much food for the party because everyone had eaten before they came. So I prepared lots of food, but I realized that afterwards it wasn't necessary. But then we have needn't to, right? Needn't did to, plus the infinitive is also used to talk about an action which was unnecessary, but usually indicates that the action was not performed. For example, I didn't need to prepare much food for the party. Everyone said that they would bring something to eat, so I didn't prepare lots of food and I knew that it wasn't necessary. So the action wasn't done, was not done. Then we have should and shouldn't, which are used to express obligation or give advice. Ought not has to the same meaning, alright? For example, you can say, you ought to or you should see a doctor about your backache, alright? By the way, do you know what is the difference between ought to and should, my dear Sarah?
Should ought is equal to say the must, and should it's kind to say advice and advice.
Yes, and as well, ought to is formal and should is informal. There is a
Oh,
difference.
okay.
Yes,
It's the
ought to
same
is
meaning.
formal and should is informal. For example, if you are going to get into academic writing, it is
Okay.
advisable that you use ought to. Yes. Then we have shouldn't and ought not to. This can also be used to say what we think it is the right thing to do. For example, we ought to or we should do more to help the environment. That is what you think about this. That is the proper thing, the suitable thing to do. In the negative, I don't think you should is more usual than I think you shouldn't, right? For example,
Mm.
I don't think you should buy that. It is too expensive. It is more common. The next one, be supposed to, is used to talk about what we should be done because of a rule or because it is expected. For example, come on, it is 10 o'clock. You are supposed to be in bed, right? Then we have this one that is very interesting, that is had better plus the infinitive without to. It often implies a warning of possible negative consequences if the advice or precaution it is not taken. The negative is had better not. Remember, it is with an infinite verb without to. We had better not eat, it might be poisonous. Or you had better wear a hat, I don't want you to get a cold. Finally, we have permission. To express permission, it is possible that way you can use can, may, which is more formal, or be allowed to. In a negative, this expresses a lack of permission or prohibition, right? Then we have you can have a drink, but you can have any grapes. Or we aren't allowed to go out of school at lunchtime. Then we have could, was, were allowed to, which are possible for general permission in the past. For example, in my last job, we could wear what we wanted to in the past. Or could is not used when referring to a particular situation in the past. For example, I was allowed to stay up late last night. In the negative, however, couldn't it is possible. For example, I wasn't allowed to, or I couldn't stay up late last night. Finally, we have let and make that are followed by the infinitive without to as well. Let is used to express permission or prohibition, alright? So for example, we have the next one. My dad doesn't or won't let me watch that program. Unlike let, in this case, it is not normally used in the passive. For example, be allowed to is used instead of this. I wasn't allowed to go to the party on my own. Then we have make, which is just to express obligation as well. The teacher made her do some extra homework. And the last one, in the passive form, make is followed by the infinitive with to. He was made to pay for the window he had broken. And that's it about modal verbs of permission, necessity, and obligation. Is it everything clear? Or there is something that you didn't get at all?
Have to review
Yeah, you have
all
to.
of this. Yes.
But the most common situation is that must is like for a strong, very strong obligation, must. Then we have ought to and should, that is, there are just to give advice in most of the cases. Alright? Remember, didn't have is when it wasn't necessary something, but you did it. Instead of didn't it means that something wasn't necessary, but you did it. That is the difference. Those are the most common.
And permission with
And
allow.
yes, allow to. It's the most common. Allow to, or maybe let. Let. Right? Remember with let, we don't have to use the preposition to. Only the bare infinitive. And in some cases, as well, it's a little bit common make. For example, you make me commit this, or you make me make some mistakes, for example, something like that. So let's go back to the student's book on page number 74.
74.
Yes.
Okay, I'm
And
looking
we're
for.
going to practice with this part that is called the keyword transformation part. So remember, by using only 2 and 5 words, we have to give the same meaning to the next sentence using the keyword. So number 1 says, it was compulsory to wear our jacket and tie at all times. So the same, modal verbs, what we practice right now. What do you think? And we have the keyword had. The next sentence is we, our jackets and tie at all times. If it says that it was compulsory, it means that it was mandatory. So you had to, right? So the
Have
sentence
to.
here is we had to wear. That is the answer. We had to wear our jacket and tie at all times. Number 2, we weren't allowed to drink water in the classroom. Right? We weren't allowed to drink water in the classroom. So we have they.
Don't let.
Taking into
Don't
account that
let.
we're talking in past. We weren't.
Ah,
Yes. So it means that they didn't let us, right?
they didn't.
They didn't
They
let us
didn't.
drink water in the classroom. That is the answer. Number 3, David is not obliged to wear a tie if he doesn't want to. Then we have David. In this case, that it is in present, right? We can say David doesn't have to wear, right?
Doesn't have to wear. Oh,
Doesn't
yeah.
have to wear. That is. Number 4, they don't let my 16-year-old daughter wear a nose stud to school. What do you think? We have the keyword allowed. My 16-year-old daughter, what do you think is her?
Allowed.
Yes, is not allowed to wear a nose stud to school, sorry. Yeah, that is. Number 5, she was made to remove the stud. She was made to remove the stud. And we have take. In this case, the verb take collocates with out. Take the stud out. But what is,
Out.
yes, but what is the answer? If it says she
They
was made. Do you remember that we had to use the preposition to? They made her to take the stud out. That is the answer. They made her in past to take Dia stood out. And the last one,
They, how do you say
they
in the
made
number
her,
5?
yes, they made in past, they made her to
Yeah.
take Dia stood out.
Mm,
That is the answer. The next one, the last one. I am a lawyer, so it isn't necessary for anyone to convince me of their importance. So as a lawyer,
I needn't. I needn't
it could be I
to,
needn't or I don't need, right? I
yes,
needn't
I
or I
needn't,
don't need, right?
don't
I
need
don't
to
need,
convince.
yes, for anyone to convince. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the answer so you can check the spelling. There you are. Number one, we had a word. Number two, they didn't let us drink. Number three, David doesn't have to. Number four, she is not allowed to wear. Number five, they made her take. Number six, I don't or I need to be. I don't need to be. That is the answer in number six.
Convinced.
Yes, to be convinced.
Okay.
There you are. The next exercise, number three. In these sentences from 1 to 8, we have to correct some mistakes that are within it. Alright? Number one, can you identify where is a mistake? Children were led to leave school at the age of 12 when my grandparents were younger. What do you think is the mistake here?
Where children led to leave school.
Yes, right? That is. The next one. My English teacher wears formal clothes in class, but she mustn't. She could wear jeans and a t-shirt if she wanted to. What do you think is the mistake here?
She could,
She could, right? She could wear.
yes, she
That
mustn't wear jeans and t-shirts.
yes, perfect. Number three. When my parents were at school, they must wear a uniform.
They
Because we
must wear.
yes, they must
They
wear.
must
Perfect.
wear
Because when we have a modal verb, we don't have to conjugate any verb.
anywhere.
Number four. We're supposed to get homework after every English class, but it doesn't always happen. Where is the mistake here?
But it doesn't always happen.
It is in the verb supposed. Remember, whenever you use the verb supposed to, it's with the verb to be. We are supposed. We are.
Yes, of course, we are supposed.
Yes, we are supposed to get homework. Perfect. The next one, parents in my country must to pay. Oh my gosh, this is a terrible mistake. My eyes hurt. It is only must pay,
Must pay, yes, of
not
course.
must to pay. Number six, it is my view that a school should to provide. There is another terrible mistake.
Provide,
Should provide.
provide.
Yes. Children in schools used to be made stand in the corner with a book on their head if they misbehaved. What do you think is the mistake here? The mistake is here. Used to.
Used to,
Children in school were made. It could be were made.
yes.
Were made stand in the corner. It is not common to use with used to, right? It is a
Where,
mistake. Were made stand in the corner with a book. In number
yes.
8, I needn't to read. Where is the mistake? It is only I needn't read. right? Without to.
I
I
didn't
didn't read the
read.
grammar reference. That is the mistake. So that's it. So as we don't have so much time, right? Okay, so we're gonna finish this lesson by practicing the speaking part. I just want you to tell me things that you have to, that you are supposed to, that you should do, sorry, and those things you don't have or aren't allowed to do at home.
At home,
Yes. For example, you can say, I am not allowed to drink coffee in the morning, for example, right? The intention is that you use these expressions. Have to, be supposed to do, ought to, or should do. Or don't have to, or aren't allowed to do. For example, it's like, I think it's easier to talk about your work. Do you work in a school, right?
yes.
Yes. What are the things that you are not supposed to do at your work, at work?
For example, I'm not allowed to speak aloud to children. Mm,
Okay.
It's possible
Yes.
to. I'm not allowed to go late to my school. I I shouldn't wear a shorts and t-shirts. It's possible.
Yes.
Um, I'm not allowed to drink or to have a breakfast in during my class, for example, in the class.
Yes. That is. All right. Thank you so much. And as a homework for the next lesson from your workbook, you're going to carry out only page number 32 for you to practice the listening part. Only the listening part, okay? So remember that
True.
you have, yes, for 32 on the workbook, on your workbook. So remember that the audios, you can find them on the Google Drive folder.
Okay.
Yes. All right, so this is it for today. Please, can you turn on your camera just for a while to take today's screenshot? Please.
Okay, teacher.
There you are.
I'm here.
Okay. Thank you so much. Let me see. All right. So, do you have any comment, any question about today's lesson? Maybe?
No, no.
All right.
It's
So don't forget, please, to write your letter of application for the next lesson. All right?
okay.
Yes, that
I
is
have to
important.
review this.
That
Yes, of course.
that is. So thank you so much. I hope you have a restful night and a peaceful weekend. And I'll see you on Monday, okay? Bye bye. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
teacher. Bye bye. See you.